What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you some new information on Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, Owlcat's next game, of course, and recently, yesterday to be specific from the time of this video, they dropped a new gameplay trailer, which is where a lot of this information is coming from, and in addition to that, they've talked about a few other things here and there, such as our new Eldar companion that I wanted to talk about here as well. Links to all of which, if you want the direct sources, will be in the description. But as I mentioned, they dropped their gameplay trailer yesterday, or a gameplay trailer I should say, and it gave us a little more information on a few different things as well as showing off some new footage of the game. And while it's great to see this progress update, I do think it's worth mentioning that we haven't even seen alpha yet, meaning that some of this stuff is absolutely still subject to change to some degree, and you should keep that in mind as we discuss some of the details here. Though, a few things about this trailer catch my eye in particular. For starters, the world map as it would seem, or more specifically a star map of sorts that seems to be how we will be navigating the Coronis expanse where the game takes place, which is of course a sector of space. On this map we can of course see our ship moving around as well as several locations we can go to. Now this implies a few things and also leaves me with a few questions. For starters, it appears that your ship can move relatively freely, at least on this world map, as opposed to say the Pathfinder games they've made where you are traveling along a dotted line specifically. And while that's not a particularly big deal one way or the other, as I mentioned, it raises some questions. For starters, how are they going to approach the narrative structure? Will we be confined to certain parts of this world map via some sort of plot device, or will plot necessary locations simply not show up until it's time for them to do so? We've seen both of these methods employed in various games, Owlcat's own games included, and they've used both methods, so it could really go either way or possibly even be a combination of those two things. And then the other half of this also has me curious because oftentimes CRPGs come with, of course, random encounters on the world map. And it's likely that will be the case here, though what I'm curious about is if this will entail ship-to-ship combat, which we did not see, or will it be a sort of boarding party situation where we actually fight them in the regular turn-based combat of this game, or perhaps, again, some combination of both of those things. Again, none of which we have concrete answers on here, but we can start asking those questions based on what we've seen. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that looking through this trailer, it looks like they've done a lot of upgrades to the visuals since our initial announcement. A lot of the characters have many more details added to them, and if you compare what we're seeing here to the images of footage we've seen previously, even where we see some of the same characters, we see tons of more detail on the individual models, which makes it look like they are making pretty good progress to me. Furthermore, we also saw a lot of new monsters, new enemy types, mostly stuff they've shown off in concept art, so it being here isn't really a surprise. But nice to see it actually in the game now, such as the Drukhari, some warp monsters, things like that. And then one other detail I also noticed, but obviously can't confirm for sure, is that it kind of looks like our party size is probably going to be 4, because in all but one of these shots, we see the Rogue Trader and 3 of the previously announced companions, which would imply to my mind that the party size is likely to be 4, which is of course a downgrade from the oft-used 6, though 4 is not uncommon either. Now there is one scene in this trailer though where we actually see 5, the Rogue Trader, and then 4 of the companions, so it's very possible this is still in flux, but going just off this trailer, I think it's likely the group size is 4. Again though, speculation. And then at the end of the video, they also detailed the collector's edition a little bit. We've gotten teases of this previously, so I wouldn't exactly say this is new information, but for those of you excited about a collector's edition, here's the info for you. You of course get the statue of Cassia, one of our companions, the Navigator specifically, along with the usual stuff that typically comes alongside a physical collector's edition. Now let's talk a little bit about things we did not see here. So for starters, this gameplay still doesn't tell us much about what the main story is going to be, what the plot is, how the Chaos Space Marines come into it, which we know they do. It just gives us a very general overview of the Coronis expanse, some exploration elements, as well as the broad overview of what a Rogue Trader in general does. So no main story details still as of yet, which I imagine they'll keep under wraps. And while they did put the game's Steam page up right alongside this trailer, that Steam page also doesn't really tell us much about what the main plot hook is going to be either. Now, last but not least, I wanted to end this video talking a little bit about a recently revealed companion, so nothing to do with the trailer specifically, but I figured it was a good time to bring it up in a video. So our newly revealed companion from a week or two ago is this Eldari Ranger, whose name I am probably going to butcher, but I believe it's something like Irelet. And while details on the specifics are a little bit sparse, we did also learn a little bit about her at the same time, but again, not much. It looks like she was living on a craft world, which is a planet-sized ship that Eldaris tend to live on. However, recently she's taken up the path of the outcast, which in simple terms means that she's about to dedicate her life to travel and exploration and kind of just wandering in general, which is how she somehow comes across your retinue. So certainly curious and full of potential. But that, guys, is pretty much all I've got for you today. Just some cool details released in this trailer that I wanted to talk about and throw in my own thoughts and questions on. And now I turn it to you guys. What questions does this leave you with? Thoughts, opinions, all that jazz? Leave it down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you are at it. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.